So this is going to be a bit of a weird one. Yeah, I'm actually going to be doing a review of Outpath. Honestly, I didn't expect this game to creep up on me the way that it did, but essentially it's got the same game loop as a lot of mobile idle games. And I know that might sound strange as an analogy, but just work with me here. You start out on a tiny little island, and as you end up breaking down various items in the map, whether it be plants for fiber or trees for wood, you essentially are gathering not only that resource, but you're also gathering currency. The currency can be spent on this totem in the middle of the island that will essentially open a second island, which allows you to basically get more resources. As you gather those resources, you're going to end up getting even more money and even more of those new materials that you need to craft various other things. You'll start making some better tools, which makes it so that you break things in the environment faster. You can end up making this node thing so it can automatically destroy things while you're absent. And then there's some permanent player upgrades, some stats that you'll get as you end up exploring new islands. You'll find these books that you can eventually upgrade. And from that point on, the game loop kind of just keeps going. I don't want to downplay it and say that there is anything wrong with this formula, but for me personally, I started to lose interest a few hours into the game, and then I played further than that, and it really just burnt me out. I eventually ended up unlocking the third biome, and by that point, I was just done. Say what you will, this game plays all of its cards within the first hour, and then just kind of elongates the rest of it. Now that said, it does try really hard to break the formula. So when you end up getting to the second island, that's when you start realizing that you need to break down all of your stuff from the first island, bring it to the next one. And when you get to the third island, that's where you can start getting into some form of automation, like auto crafting and stuff like that. My biggest issue with the game was the material requirements, like the material cost started to scale up way faster than you could earn it. In particular, there are nodes that you could place down in the water that you had to slowly wait for them to generate resources because you couldn't get those items any other way. And wood is another thing that I constantly struggled with because it's basically like the primary resource of the game and just starts going bonkers with how much you need without any proper efficient way of farming it. See, the way this game works is certain materials will generate on certain biomes. Trees can generate all over the grass, but so can all of these other things. So what I would often have to do is actively go out of my way to garden and mow the grass specifically so that I could free up those slots for trees to spawn so that I could get some more wood. But I was really disappointed to see the game loop run out of steam so quickly. An arbitrary score, I don't know, man. I'm gonna give it a 2. That might seem low, but for me, a 2 is just kind of an average video game. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that this game is bad per se, it just didn't really click with me. It did early on, but the further I got into the game, it was just like, okay, there's nothing else here.